Stories, are you like into that kind of stuff? Or you not like scary tales?
Depends on the ghost story.
Well, I think that very much is the answer to every question. All right, well, let me try telling a story about me. I don't often tell stories about me, but this isn't really about me because it actually happened a month before I was born. So, my name is Joseph Philip Stephen Gaudette Papa Joe. I'm Acadian, not actually Acadian. My father was Acadian, but I'm actually American. But we still get stuck with these names like Joseph Gaudette. There's probably a million of us in the United States. That's probably not too much of an exaggeration either. So I have over 20 Joe Gaudettes on my Facebook page. um, I have an uncle, Joe Gaudette. In fact, Joseph is the name of three of my grandfathers going back in my lineal descent. So I'm Joseph, son of John, son of Philip, son of John, son of Philip, son of Lysia, son of Joseph, son of Joseph, son of Joseph, son of Augustine, son of Pierre, son of Denis, son of Jean, who was born in 1575 in France and was one of the first Acadians in Maritime Canada. So Joseph is a big deal to our family, and my mother kind of wanted to have a Joseph, but event took place, like I said, about a month before I was born. I was born in March, so it's wintertime, and back 60 plus years ago, winter was a whole different thing than it is today, isn't it? I mean, the snow was high, the weather was cold. Sometimes you just had to be stuck in the house for a while, and that was the case. She was 8 months pregnant, had my 6 brothers and sisters in the house because I'm number 7 of 10. And my brother John was a brat. He was irritating my sisters, driving them crazy. And finally, my mother had enough, and she said, "Sit down!" Which, of course, when she said like that, we all sat down. And anyway, she has all my sisters and brothers there, and she says, "I have to do something. We have to do something. You know, we're having a new little brother. Dr. Currier said that it's going to be a boy, and we don't have a name for him." So I was thinking maybe we could have a little contest here to see who could pick the name for our new little brother. I'm thinking, Dodie, go get me a book. Johnny, get me your dad's hat. Cindy, get me a piece of paper, and Diane, get me a pencil. So my oldest sister Dodie, she go gets a book. I think it was Hop on Pop, very popular story back then, and she puts that in her lap, and then my sister gives her a pencil, and she puts that in that little edge of the book, so it wouldn't roll off. She takes a piece of paper, and she takes my father's hat, and she sets that beside her. She takes the piece of paper. She says, "So what we're going to do is we're all going to pick a name, and I'm going to write the piece of name on these pieces of paper." And she kept folding the pieces of paper in half and ripping them in half until she had 8 pieces of paper. She needed 6 pieces of paper for my brothers and sisters and 1 for herself, and that left her 1 more piece of paper. And you know what she did with that? She put it in her apron for later. Because this was the 50s and people did that all the time, right? Save that piece of paper for later. So she puts it in her apron, and then she turns to my brothers and sisters. She goes, "Okay, when your dad comes home, he's going to pick out one of the names. We're going to each have a name in this hat. And I go first because I'm the oldest, and I want to call him Joseph." So she writes down on that first piece of paper. She sets it down on the book, and she writes with the pencil. She writes Joseph, folds it up, puts it into the hat, and turns to my sister Dodie. "Dodie, you're the oldest of the kids, so you go next. What would you like to call your new little brother?" And Dodie, she thinks, she goes, "Albert." My mother says, "Albert? Jody, why do you want to call him Albert?" My sister Jody goes, "Because if we name him after Albert Einstein, he will be a genius." My mother goes, "Oh, Albert, I get it now." She says, "Okay." And she writes Joseph on that little piece of paper. She folds it up, puts it into the hat, and she turns to my brother, Johnny. Johnny, what would you like to call your new little brother?" Johnny goes, "Trash can." My mother says, "Johnny, why would you call your brother Trash Can?" He says, "I already got a little brother, Gary, 2 years old." You kidding? play with him, you might as well throw him in a trash can. My mother says, fine, trash can. And she writes JOSEPH, folds it up, puts it into the hat, and turns to my sister Cindy. Cindy, what would you like to call your new little brother? Now, Cindy was the sweetheart of my family, and she's got this big smile on her face. She goes, Claude. My mother goes, Claude? Why do you want to call your new little brother Claude? She says, Claude starts with a C like Cindy, and we'll be twins. My mother says, oh, Cindy, Claude. And she writes JOSEPH, folds it up, puts it in that, turns to Diane. Diane, what would you like to call your new little brother? And Diane goes, Eric. My mother said, Eric. What a beautiful name. Diane, why do you want to call him Eric? Diane says, because Eric means strong. Really strong. And when he grows up, he can beat up Johnny! My mother goes, oh, Eric. And she writes JOSEPH, turns to Joyce. And if you've been doing the math, the kids are all about 2 years apart. So Joyce is 4 years old. My mother goes, Joycey, what would you like to call your new little brother? Joyce goes, trash can! Think Johnny terrorized her. Yeah, my mom goes, okay, Joyce, trash can. She writes JOSEPH, folds it up, puts it in that, and turns at my 2-year-old big brother. Gary, what do you want to call your new little brother? Gary's like, Duffy. He wants to name me after his little stuffed bunny that he used to take to bed with him all the time. She writes JOSEPH, folds it up, puts it into the hat, and when my dad comes home, he reaches into the hat and pulls out a little piece of paper which he reads JOSEPH, Joseph, and that's how I got my name.
Hey.